Hello and welcome back to the Frontington and Backwoods Railway, where I've been sorting out a load of bits and pieces around Frontington Station. They've been on my to-do list for ages, but none of them are quite big enough to warrant their own video, so I've saved them all up for one big update. First on the list was a Barrow crossing, providing a wooden walkway from the end of the platform to a footpath on the other side. This footpath would have provided pedestrian access, as long as you're happy to traipse through the field to get there. The crossing itself was made from card, onto which I had printed a wooden plank texture. In fact, long-time viewers of this channel may recognise this as being left over from my original layout, where it served as a garden fence. But it looks just as at home horizontal. I had originally planned for this walkway to extend all the way to the signal box, but looking at photos, I don't think such provisions were often made. So I dug out the foundations I had previously laid, and I'll fill in the gaps later. Next, I moved on to platform lighting. I had these LED lamps left over from the previous layout. They're arguably a little overscale and plasticky, but they'll do for now. A lick of paint gave them a more Great Western look, and wiring them up was pretty straightforward. While I was deep into wiring, I decided to do something about the lights in my buildings. I had previously fitted LED strips, but powered them with little batteries, activated by a reed switch and a magnet. But the batteries went flat, and I hardly ever used them. So now I've extended the wires and hooked them up to the same 3-volt power supply as the platform lamps. They're all rather bright at the moment, so I'll come back and experiment with resistors later. I now have my water tower installed. It's a greatly modified Pico model, kit-bashed and painted to look more Great Western-ish. The coal yard was next. I had these staiths from my previous layout too, made out of thick card and painted up to look more like sleepers. And I used a combination of foam coal and real coal, although it all still looks rather overscale to me, so I might have to come back to this at a little later date. I could do with some coal sacks too, but this is a good start. My locomotives now have people in them. It was fiddly getting them in, but they do rather complete the look, especially when you can see right into the cab. Speaking of people, working on the platform meant removing and replacing all the passengers and repositioning them afterwards. So let me introduce you to them all. Here's Granny Farthing taking her granddaughter Emily into town to buy new shoes. Emily doesn't want new shoes, she still likes her lovely red ones. Mr. Barton is taking his mother to visit her solicitor. His mother thinks it's a waste of time and won't even look at him. Here we see Gerald and Tom arguing about the latest changes to the timetable. And here's the Wilson family. They'd like to take their son to the zoo, but some fool has superglued them to this bench. And this is Mr. Roberts. He's late, and watching for the train in the wrong direction. And these are sheep. I had this card kit in my drawers for a horse-drawn wagon, so I put that together and gave it a rough paint job. Nothing special, not going to win any awards, but it'll allow the transport of some goods from local farms and such like. At the moment, the horse is somewhat invisible. I'll get to that later. Another cute little addition was a set of water buckets, strategically positioned around the station area. A really nice 3D print, these, and they came already painted red. All I had to do was paint the handles black and stick them in place. Milk churns were a common sight in the 1930s, so I bought some of these. Again, 3D printed and really finely detailed. Although, on reflection, stacking them right in front of the water buckets probably isn't a great idea, so I moved them. The next big job was sorting out my point rodding. I had a go at this ages ago, and it was okay, but not great. And I never finished it. So now I'm coming back with a new plan, using some white metal stools I found online. I had to cut them to size, and open out the slots ever so slightly, but then it was just a case of supergluing them in place. I'm using 0.5mm florist wire, which is about the right scale. Another package in the post, this time some beautiful 3D printed fruit and veg crates. And these all look lovely stacked up on the platform. And this is my horse. Again 3D printed, and I had to paint it, but yeah, it looks the part. And I'm much happier with the brightness of the lights now too. I had played around with various combinations of resistors, but in the end I bought some variable resistors so that I could easily fine-tune the brightness for each building. Other little jobs included painting my lamps red, adding more greenery, tidying my work area, replacing some point motor wires, and replacing my motley collection of benches with some proper GWR ones. And that's about all for this update. Lots of small details rather than a big project, but it's nice to do that every now and then. I'll leave you with some running shots, but don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and watch out for my next video. Bye for now.